Nice. Well, good evening everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for popping in, having a wee look. I am out tonight just to test a new tent and also a new sleeping mat. So it was a bit of a rushed affair. Anyway, I thought I'll get away tonight. I'm trying out the Nortent Vern 2 for the first time. And I didn't arrive till after dark. So what I'll do is I'll show you around tomorrow. Give you a better idea what it looks like. I'm not going to go into great detail about it. If you want to see a very detailed video on it with a lot of measurements and the like, have a look at Filming Dave's channel. He'll kind of cover that side of it. I'm just going to give you an impression of what it's like to actually live in it for the night. It's only me, it's a big two-man, but I'll take you around it when there's some daylight. And also I have got a mat here, which is the Flextail Gear Zero R5. It's a 5.6 R rating mat. It's a bit of a strange one. It looks a wee bit like a lilo. So I think it's the vertical tubes in the bright orange colour. But we'll see how it goes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compare it with my favourite mat, which is the Light Tour, which is also a very warm mat, and I find it very comfortable. And I'm going to switch during the night, and we'll jump from one mat to the other and just see how they compare with each other. And hopefully that will give you some idea, maybe if you're looking at a new mat, in terms of which way you might go. But both are relatively inexpensive when you look at some of the traditional thermarests and the like. So I'll bring you back shortly. I'm just going to have a wee drink of red wine. I've had my dinner, and I'm just going to take some snacks and chill out, listen to the radio. But it's a beautiful moonlit night. A wee bit of rain on off, the cloud comes through, but it's meant to clear up and meant to go to sub-zero tonight, so I will need a hot water bottle for sure. And for those of you that follow my channel regularly, you'll know that I burst my Nalgene bottle. I was going to use the hot water bottle in Ben Ann, and it split and steam and water started to come out of it. So after about 20 years, guess what? Got a new one. So it's one of these ones, I think it's a slightly softer plastic. It feels that it's not as brittle as the old one. Or maybe the old one just went brittle. Anyway, that's going to be the hot water bottle tonight, because I think we'll need it. It's now getting pretty nippy, I can feel it. Probably hovering about 0. So I'm absolutely spoilt for space tonight. Obviously a two-person tent this. I've yet to get Jan out with me to try it with me, but she'll probably come out in the next week or so. But aye, absolute luxury. it's amazing. I haven't even really used that vestibule up that end. Threw my rucksack in, closed the door, forgot about it completely. Been cooking in here, absolutely no problem. We've got the door pinned back so we get the view of the loch. The rain comes on and off, it just touches my feet, but I just move them inside slightly and just get the stove slightly outside the vestibule. Nicely made tent as far as I can tell. Construction's excellent on this one. There was a couple of there was a wee stitching problem on, not a problem, but a wee bit of a dodgy stitch in my Vern 1, which I think I mentioned to you in a previous video. This Vern 2, haven't spotted any problem at all with it in terms of QC, quality control. So yeah, so far so good. Absolute doddle to put up as well. I really like the sleeve and clip system. It's just great. It's easy to do on your own. The only thing is the sheer size of the tent. You've got a long stretch to get up to the peak to get the final clips in without leaning too far in and falling on the thing. I suppose you could open a door and step inside and then try and reach over and do it, but I'm a short arse. Anyway, I'll bring you back in a wee while. I'm just going to chill out for an hour or so. I don't know if this will take this wee fire, but it's just a few twigs. We'll see if we can get even just a wee hand warmer for half an hour. The fire's struggling a wee bit when the wind dies. I'm going to try this Flextail pump. There, I've got a wee zero pump. I lost the last one, so thank you to Flextail for sending me a replacement along with the mat. So that's quite good. I think that might work. Right, that's the hot water bottle made up. Well, let's get that in the bag, get it warmed up. Right, time to get in for the night and get cosy. Hot water bottles in the sleeping bag, and tomorrow morning, if it's a nice morning, I'll show you around the outside of the tent, give you a quick look at that. It's very cavernous inside here. It's a very comfortable two-person. You could almost possibly get a dog down the middle or a small child. Yeah, quite impressed. It's just so comfortable. Anyway, about 3 in the morning, I'll jump from the Flextail mat onto the light tour mat, and we'll just get some comparison in terms of comfort and warmth to give you some idea how these feel. It's the only way I can tell myself is to actually split the night between them. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Cheers just now. Well, morning everybody. A very still, chilly night. Quite a lot of condensation on the tent for obvious reasons. There was no wind, went down to just below zero. It's absolutely soaking ground, so just pretty much what I expected, but I had a very comfortable night. With regards to the mats, I can't tell the difference really between the Flextail and the Light Tour. Both were good last night. I woke up on the, I went to sleep on the Flextail initially, and then at 3:10, as it turned out, I jumped over to the Light Tour. And the one thing I'd say about the Flextail is it feels deeper, so it was quite comfortable. Quite like the depth in it, as you can see, especially on these end baffles. It's pretty deep, so it was very comfortable actually. The one thing I would say is you can see the foil is in the inner part of the mat, and the outer baffle here doesn't appear to have foil. It might still have some form of insulation, so I thought it'd be really cold, probably coming through on the arms, but actually didn't feel it at all. It was warm, it was comfortable, it was great. I also quite like the fact that these are bigger on the sides, and it kind of forces you into the centre of it, so you don't feel like you're going to fall off the edge. So yeah, genuinely I was actually pleasantly surprised with this. I didn't really have high hopes for it. I thought it looked like a Lilo, and a cheap one at that. But yeah, no, it's actually worked out really well, and I'd happily use it again, and I will do, because I need to get just a bit more of a feel for it if there's any shortcomings. But absolutely great. And the Light Tour was comfortable as always. So yeah, no problems with that at all. Slightly thinner, so again, you just feel that wee bit closer to the ground, but there was no cold spots. And it took a while to heat up, maybe 10-15 minutes before it felt really warm. But after that, it was absolutely roasting as usual. So great, no issues. So there you go, both mats, perfectly good. I'll put the prices on the screen so you get an idea. But anyway, I'm going to get some breakfast on now, and then we'll get decamped and get a move on. So I said last night I'd give you a quick look at the Nortent Vern 2, about £700, 4.3 kilograms without the footprint. If you add the footprint, it comes up to about 4.9. So it's a hefty tent. The only way I can think to look at this from a practical point of view is if you were the kind of person that need a Hilleberg Sulo, for instance, for the strength, then effectively if there's two of you, you're carrying a Sulo each. So if you need the protection, but you want to sleep together as a pair inside one tent, it does kind of make sense. Also as a base tent, brilliant. So if it's gear intensive stuff and you're maybe leaving the tent in one place, it makes a lot of sense to me. But yes, I really like it, I have to say. It's the coolest looking tent, and it feels as strong as the Vern 1, which you've seen me. I've got that already from Nortent, and a big thanks to them for giving these to me. I should declare that they are actually given to me to try. It's been great. Last night, really comfortable. The inner is really wide, so that's been brilliant. It's not particularly long, so it's just beyond the mats, but it has quite steep walls. so I didn't have any issues with touching the end walls, but it might be a consideration if you're really tall again. This seems to be a thing with Nortent, especially in the sit-up heights. They're slightly low profile, so it's worth considering if you're over 6 foot, 6'3". It might not be the tent for you. But yeah, absolutely bomber, really quick to put up with the sleeve and clip system. Had no problem in the pitch black last night, that was great. As you can see, I've not bothered guying it. It has no less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 crossover points. So you're talking about a lot of strength in this thing. And it's like a tunnel tent. It's like a tunnel tent on steroids, basically. There's a couple of other points I'd like to mention, just not issues, but things you've got to be aware of. Nortent gives you this option to seam seal it, so they give you silicone rubber sealant. I haven't actually seam sealed any of them yet. However, at the tie backs where the elastics are on the doors, they started to wick water. I did a 24-hour rain test and they were wicking water. So this morning, if it dries out, what I'll do is I'll just silicone seal those points, but I don't really want to do the whole thing. I had no issues with leaks coming in on the actual main seams. All these were great, no issues here at all on this main crossing points. Just literally a couple of points down here that I need to just seal. And one other thing worth mentioning actually is they should maybe look at the future at putting some form of fabric lip along the vent, because when it's really, really rainy, the rain pours down across the whole tent. It's almost like a dome rather than a tunnel, and you can get water streaming straight across the vent, and when you open it, it drops into the footprint, or it drops on your back when you're getting in and out the tent. So just a wee niggle. But other than that, yeah, I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. What a great looking tent. And I've yet to get out in heavy weather, but this is the first night, so I'm looking forward to trying this in something more challenging. Let me just take you around it. I'll show you. So you've got 4 doors, 1, 2, another one on each side here. All of them have the hooded vents over them. All of them have 2-way zips. So yeah, you've got an amazing amount of flexibility depending on the way the wind and the weather is coming, and just from an access point of view, and also from a venting point of view, in that you can open these up. Cold breakfast this morning, red berry cereal. So I know it's only a first impressions review of the tent, but so far so good. Absolutely brilliant base tent, or very strong 2-person one. Obviously you need to split the weight between 2 of you, otherwise it's an absolute beast to carry and it's fairly bulky. I want to get it out in some wild weather though, or just some wilder weather. Not that I seek bad weather, but it'd be good just to give it a wee bit more of a test and actually use the guy lines. Anyway, my coffee's just about ready, so I'm going to get a wee brew on, get this down, get back and get on with the rest of the day. So thank you very much everybody for watching. If you've got any questions on the Vern 2, drop me a line below and I'll be happy to try and help you if I can. As I say, there's a few other videos out there which are good. David Erdley's video is really good from a technical point of view if you want to know dimensions internally and the like. But yeah, so this is just the first impressions. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you out there again soon. Cheers. Okay, leave no trace as always. See you soon.